Hello to you, my beautiful friend. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Shauna and this is Kalana Yoga. For today's flow, we are actually going to focus on one specific sequence called Sun Salutation A. Sun Salutation A is a very common traditional yoga sequence that can also be used as a great warm-up before you move on to a longer yoga flow, or it can be done by itself repetitively to get a great stretch and elevated heart rate for a small amount of time. It's also a great practice for you to do maybe before you do a more exerting exercise like weight training or running, just to warm up your body and get all of your muscles and ligaments stretched out. So I'm going to guide you through the set sequence for Sun Salutation A a couple of times on repeat, and then I want to show you a few modifications that you can use in case any of these postures are not 100% comfortable for you. So just follow along the first couple sequences, and if something doesn't feel right, feel free to skip that posture until we go into different modifications. All right, let's get started. So we're going to start in a standing position. Now your feet can be hips width distance apart, or you can bring your big toes to touch and keep a little sliver between your heels. Stack your shoulders above your hips, broaden through the collarbone, and root down through all four corners of both feet. Really feel yourself being as tall as you possibly can. Reach the crown of your head all the way up to the ceiling. Squeeze your core in so your belly button is reaching toward your spine. Tuck your tailbone down to remove that extended arc in your low back. Great job. Inhale, mountain pose. Reach your arms up to the sky. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Spiral your pinkies in. Exhale, forward fold. Push your hips back. Reach forward with your chest until you find that tightness in the back of your knees. Then gently bend your knees and continue to fold your torso down to the tops of your thighs and your fingertips to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Create a long, strong spine. Your spine is parallel with the ground. Press your palms into the top of your shins. Reach the crown of your head forward and really broaden through that collarbone as you squeeze your belly button up toward your spine. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Plant your hands, step back to a high plank. Lower your hips so they're in line with your shoulders, and your shoulders are stacked over your wrists. Hinge your chest forward, bend the elbows to 90 degrees. Flip your feet. Inhale, upward facing dog. Straighten those arms, keep those thighs engaged. Knees are lifted off the mat. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your hips. Create that upside down V with your body, that beautiful pyramid. Now we're going to hold this posture for a few breaths, because if this is your first down dog of the day, you're probably feeling some tightness in the back of your knees. So we're going to breathe into those areas that are tight while we look at all of the ways to make a beautiful downward facing dog. So press down into that space between your thumb and your index finger. Great job. Lift your hips as high as they'll go. Reach your torso back towards the top of your thighs. Then slowly begin to straighten out through the knees, allowing your heels to reach toward the ground. Now, it's totally fine if your heels do not reach the ground. Mine don't, and they probably won't for a while, if ever. And that's totally okay. Just allow the backs of your knees to have a gentle bend until you find yourself able to straighten the knees more comfortably. Beautiful. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Long, strong spine, parallel with the ground. Reach the crown of your head forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise, mountain pose. Lift all the way to standing. Fingertips reach toward the sky. Find that beautiful straight posture that we started with. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Salutation A. Great job. So we're going to follow that same sequence a couple more times just to allow us to really practice the flow, and then we'll break down some different modifications in case one of those postures isn't speaking to you today. Great job. Start in Salutation A, standing at attention. Inhale, mountain pose. Arms reach to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Reach back with your hips. Allow your fingertips to fall toward your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Long, strong spine, palms press into shins. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. High plank. Bend the elbows. Untuck the toes. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hold for one breath cycle. Big breath in. Exhale everything out. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise, mountain. Exhale, Salutation A. Once again, moving one breath per movement. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Plank, elbows. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, Salutation A. Great job. So you might notice just after doing that 3 short times, you're feeling warmed up, you're feeling your heart rate starting to go, and you're feeling that your muscles and your ligaments are starting to feel stretched out. So you can actually repeat that sequence as many times as you want. If you feel like you want to do some yoga, but you're not really sure what exactly you would like to do or what stretches you want to do, maybe you don't have access to a video, following that sequence, memorizing that sequence will allow you to really customize the practice and follow it anytime that you want. Now, all of that being said, just in case any of those positions do not feel 100% comfortable for you, I'm going to walk you through a few modifications that we can take, okay? Great. So starting in mountain pose, beautiful, nice and long and strong. Exhale, forward fold. Once again, push those hips back. Try to keep your spine flat and straight as long as you can. Then take that micro bend in the knees and fold the rest of the way over your thighs. Inhale, halfway lift. Place your palms on your shins. So far, we're doing the same thing. No worries there. If you do have questions about any of these postures, always feel free to email me. Here's where we get into some modifications. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. So plant your hands and step back to plank. Now, option 1, if plank is not your favorite, you always have the option to come down to your knees and do a tabletop position. If you decide to do tabletop instead of plank for your chaturanga, when we say inhale upward facing dog, you're gonna do inhale cow pose. Cow pose, look up, broaden through the collarbone, roll your shoulders down your back, arch your back and point your tailbone to the sky. This is going to give you the nice stretch along your upper chest and upper back. Exhale, downward facing dog. If you're not feeling downward facing dog, you can just switch to cat pose. Tuck your chin, round the spine, push the mat straight down. Beautiful. Then you can join us again when we say inhale, look forward, exhale, forward fold. You would just come up to a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, samastitihi. Beautiful. But say you are somewhere in between that cat-cow version of chaturanga and a full yogi push-up. Here's another option. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga, option 2. Plant your hands, step back to a high plank. Chaturanga push-up. You can come down to your knees and still do the push-up piece. Lower your shoulders down, elbows are at a 90-degree angle. Inhale, upward facing dog. You can still keep the knees down, straighten through the arms, broaden through that collarbone. You're still going through the motions in your upper back and chest, but you're not putting quite as much weight on your wrists because you have your knees down on the mat. Exhale, downward facing dog. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, and join us for the rest of Sun A. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step forward, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, samastitihi. Great job, everybody. So that concludes our Sun Salutation A video with 2 different modifications for chaturanga, so you can customize the practice and really suit it towards your body today. If you do have any other questions, or if any of the other postures are not feeling 100% comfortable for you, please do feel free to email me at shauna@kalanayoga.com, and I'd be happy to assist you in creating those custom modifications that suit you now. Thank you so much again for joining me. We always greatly appreciate your likes and subscriptions, and feel free to share with a friend. Follow us on Instagram and YouTube here and Facebook. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. Namaste.